everybody. Welcome to Tea Time. That's right. It's Monday night, 8 o'clock. I am so glad you're tuning in. I have a great guest. First, let me talk about my weekend real quick. Friday night. What did I do Friday night? Friday night, I actually had rehearsal. I'm rehearsing for a pilot. And we having blocking on Wednesday, and then we're going to try to film it the first Wednesday in September. So I have that going on. And then Saturday, I did a lot of gardening in the backyard with my husband, trying to pull those weeds, can't stand them. And then laundry, and then basically collapsed Saturday night. And then Sunday, more gardening, and then a bunch of comedians got together, and we held a protest at Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown. My girl, Kristen Tinsley, that's right, Kristen Tinsley, who produces shows, organized this protest in front of Governor's because we're tired of not being able to perform. Governors went up and above beyond what they were supposed to do as far as code goes and sanitizing, and they built this beautiful place outside called the patio. So you're outside, you're 6 feet apart, you're on stage, there's a plastic curtain in front of you, everything is protected. And yesterday, the News 12 showed up, we got some media coverage. My daughter actually made these shirts, Comedian Laughs Count, okay? And we wore them and we stood there and we made everyone know that, you know, right now I can walk into a potentially German-fested hot box called a gym, okay? But I can't do comedy outside. So we're all a little frustrated. And right now, strip clubs and comedy clubs that were merged together, and I'm not too sure why, are not allowed to be open. And bowling alleys and other places are. And we wanted to just speak up and be heard. And you know what? I'm glad I went. I'm glad I was part of it. And I'm hoping that, you know, someone's going to listen and something's going to be done about it. So that was my weekend. And I'm so thrilled and excited. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Hello, Greg T. Hello, Michael. Please like the show and share it. But let me get to my guest, because I am so excited right now to introduce a man who is an actor. He's a radio personality. He's done TV. He's done movies. Chuck Nice is in the house. Hi, Chuck.
Hey, how are you, Teresa?
How are you, honey?
I'm doing really well, thanks. Doing really well.
Glad to have you, and that you take the time out and spend a little time with me. But I have to tell you, you're originally from Philly.
Yes, I am. I'm a Philadelphia born and bred guy.
Yeah, and you know what? You have my third guest in a row from Philly.
Really?
Yeah, last week I had on Bill Boggs, who's from Philly.
All right.
The week before that, I had on Paige Davis from Trading Spaces, who's from Philly too.
Yeah, Philly's got people. Yeah, we got a couple people. I mean, you know, probably the most famous Philadelphian, right after Ben Franklin, would be Bill Cosby, and unfortunately, we now say he's from Jersey. So, you know, before that, it was like, yeah, Philadelphia's Bill Cosby. And now we're just like, yeah, South Jersey's Bill Cosby. So, yeah, it's a shame. But no, I still get home. My family is still there, so I still go back and forth. I mean, of course, I've been in New York for about 22 years now. But I still get back to Philadelphia whenever I can because it's a great town, you know.
I loved it. I was there 4 years ago, and my girlfriend was in the hospital, unfortunately, and my girlfriend Grace and I, who's my best friend, I've known her forever, we decided to take a trip there for the weekend. And good
hospitals. They got great hospitals.
They do. But one of the things on my bucket list was to run up the famous
Art Museum stairs. Yeah.
Yeah. So
did you do it?
I have to tell you, I am so proud to tell you I did. But the funny part is, once I got up there, I was so excited and so overwhelmed and just so stoked that I was jumping up like this, like him, right?
Right.
What happened? I tripped over my own foot and I fell on my ass.
Oh, no. Well, you know what? They cut that part out of Rocky, but I'm sure the same thing happened to him, too. You know?
Well, my girlfriend got it all on video, and it's hysterical. It's like like America's Funniest Video.
Yeah.
But I was happy that I did it, and even when I fell, I didn't hurt myself, but I had a laugh. You have to laugh at yourself.
Yeah, who else can I laugh at if I'm not going to laugh at myself?
Exactly.
Well,
So where did you go to school in Philly? Where did you go to school?
I went to a school called Central High, and it's a academic prep school.
Yeah.
And you can only do one thing when you leave Central. They don't train you to do anything worthwhile except go to college. So that's the deal, And then I went to University of Pittsburgh. And then after that, I became the national sales manager for a toy manufacturer. And I worked for a guy who became like my second father. His name is Jerry Steinberg. And he was, instrumental in teaching me a lot of things about business. And he was very funny too. And then I don't know what happened. Jerry helped me out. I started a business, and things were going well. And then I found comedy and just threw my whole life in the toilet.
No.
So
I want to know how. I'm not going to ask you how old. Tell me what year you actually started doing comedy, and where was
I don't know.
And where was your first? Okay, where was your first?
Oh, I don't know. Philadelphia, the Funny Bone. But I worked out of the Funny Bone in Philadelphia, and so this is 2020. And yeah, so back in the 90s is when I started. I've been doing this now so I stopped for a little while. A good buddy of mine was a guy by the name of Lee Morgan. He was the one who actually put me in comedy for the most part. He was like, I went and I did an open mic.
Yeah, that's how we all start.
And it was my first time ever going on stage. And, I thought that this is the way it was supposed to go. I went up. I said stuff. People were laughing their asses off.
Wow.
And I came off the stage and I was like, that wasn't so bad. Now, mind you, I was very used to giving presentations and things like that.
You were very, very comfortable in front of an audience.
That was something I had been doing for a long time.
That's half the battle. So
So, I just went up and I'd written out like 6 minutes of stuff that I thought was funny.
Right.
And it was great. I mean, I killed. Yeah. It was my first time. And I was just like, man, this is great. I was like, yeah, I like this, So Lee Morgan came up to me and he was like, hey, man, that was really good. Where are you working out? And I said, at the sporting club. On Broad Street. And he was like, very fun. That's a gym. So he said, very, very funny. No, man, where are you working out? New York? Where? I was like, oh, no, man, that's my first time. That was my first time on stage.
Right.
And he was like, stop lying. And I was like, no, I'm dead serious. I wouldn't know what to do after this if you told me. And he said, yo, I'm going to help you, man. You are really good. If that was really your first time, you are really good. And so he started taking me with him to go to gigs.
Right.
And, it's funny how things work, because if my first time were awful, I don't know if I would have come back to the stage again.
Right.
Because it wasn't this burning desire for me. I was the kind of person who was always the life of the party. I had a job where I had to make presentations, so I was used to standing in front of people and getting the attention.
Right.
And so I already had my little stage. I already had my little way of stroking my ego. I didn't need like applause because I felt like I was getting that already.
Right.
But the rush of getting on stage and writing material and then seeing it work and watching these people laugh, that was like a drug.
Yeah, I know.
So I went back out with Lee and I sucked. I was awful. I
Really?
mean, yeah. I mean, sometimes I was good, sometimes I was bad.
Right.
But it wasn't like the first time. It was truly like a drug thing. Like, you know what they say, like that first high is always the one that makes you an addict or whatever. Like it was like that because I was chasing that experience. But in the process, I found that I couldn't live without doing comedy.
So where was your first place in New York that you did stand up?
Boston Comedy Club.
Uh-huh.
And I used to drive up from Philadelphia
Wow.
during the week, and they would say, "Hey, man, you got to go out, and you have to get 5 people." So, you want to go on, right? Yes. Okay. Here's the things. You bring 5 people in, we'll give you a spot. So I would do that.
Right.
And I was good at that because I was in sales and I was good. I would get the 5 people with no problem.
Sure.
So I would get my 5 people and then I'd come in, I'd be like, yo, man, my 5 people are in there. And they'd be like, all right, we're going to put you up at 12:30. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm like, bro, it's 9 o'clock. What are you talking about?
Oh my God.
12:30, man, we're going to put you up at 12:30. So I would stay till 12:30. And at 12:30, they would say, hey, listen, we can't let you go up. Mark Maron just came in. So he's going to do some time. So you're not going to be able to go up. But you can come back tomorrow and we'll put you up earlier.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I'm from Philly, man. I drove up here.
Oh.
And guess what? I would do it. I would come back and, they would put me up. And then I forgot who the manager was, but Jason saw me and a couple other, and they were like, oh, this guy's pretty good. This guy's actually funny,
Right.
And so they started giving me like little spots,
Back in the day when I did comic strip in that situation, I got bumped, but I didn't mind getting bumped by Chris Rock. So, but it happens. You're waiting to go up and it happens.
Yeah, it happened to me like 4 months ago. I was at a club and Chris walked in. I was on stage. I wish I could bring the picture up. I put it on the screen. I took a picture of the Post-it note and it was a heart. Somebody drew a heart.
Yeah.
And then it said Chuck with the heart next to it.
Right.
And it said, Chris Rock is here. Get off the stage.
I'll never forget when I got bumped by him and he was doing a joke about Star 69 back then when Star 69 first came out.
Wow.
On the phone, rotary phones back then we had, and then he was so nice and gracious enough to actually, talk to me because I'm like, I'm a newbie. Is there any,
Right.
Anything you can tell me? And it was basically just keep doing it, just keep doing it.
Well, that's the advice for everybody. People think that there's some magic that you can find.
Oh, there's no magic in comedy. It's torture.
That's what it is. That's it. There is no magic in comedy.
Yeah.
It's all dark magic. Yeah. But the truth is, young comics come to me all the time and they say, hey, man, what can I do? I'm like, find any stage and get on it.
That's it.
And do that as much as you can. If you can do it 5 times a night, do it 5 times a night. Because
Absolutely.
every time you get on that stage, you get better. If that's your goal. If your goal is to get better, you're going to get better every single time you're going to. I did a show. You was talking about Governors, which I haven't worked there in a while, but I used to work there quite a bit back in the day. But you talk about the outdoor show, which I can't believe they're not allowing an outdoor show.
Not in New York.
That's crazy. I mean, I just did an outdoor show in Royersford, PA, down outside of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Soul Joel's comedy. And he's bringing everybody down from New York because there's no place to work in New York City. This guy's got a great little setup going right now. So he took a parking lot, he put a bunch of sand down, he turned it into like a little beach area, and everybody's 6 feet or more apart, and it was great. I mean, it was killer. It was a killer show. I hope they change that rule before the weather turns to allow.
You only did that a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yeah, that was just 2 weeks ago, and it was. I mean, the show was fantastic. The people had a great time. Mm-hmm. Everybody was wearing a mask. everybody was adult about it. Nobody was complaining about like this is BS. Everybody kept their mask on, even though they were still sitting, you know.
Right.
People came up afterwards and said hello. And they were like, can we take a picture? And I was like, all right, I'm going to unhook my mask. I'm going to take a big, deep breath. I'm going to hold my breath. And then we're going to take this picture. All right, here we go. And, you know, and so like, it was really cool. It was a great experience. And, you know, I just hope that the state of New York comes to their senses. If it's an outdoor show, and people are wearing masks, they should be able to go out there and laugh. Shoot, everybody needs laughter more than that. If you don't need it now,
amen.
If you don't need it now, when you gonna need it? Please, it's ridiculous.
I want to give some shout outs to Hello Mike. I want to say hi to Taz. I want to say hi to my girl Kristen Tinsley. Everyone's watching. Please like the show and share it. Listen, we're going to take a quick commercial break to hear from my sponsors. Don't go away.
Is it long enough for me to take a poop? Because
no, it's not. Because
I'm dying here, Teresa. I am dying. I'll tell you right now. I feel like Vesuvius is inside of me. This is crazy what I'm doing. All right, go ahead.
We'll be right back in 30 seconds. Don't go away. So where do you want to go tonight?
Are you bored?
Oh my God.
Hold on tight. We're gonna coast this.
Well, hi there, Teresa. It's John York from General Hospital. I am just checking in because apparently you have a great talk show called Tea Time on Strong Island TV. I want you to have continued great success and have a lot of fun. It sounds like you're having a lot of fun, and that's pretty much the key to everything, isn't it? So continued success. I'm proud of you. Have a great day, Teresa. Bye.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea Time. I'm so glad you joined me, and I want to thank John York from General Hospital for those lovely words about me and my show. Thank you, John. I appreciate it, and I'm hoping one day you come on, because I had on one of your coworkers, Carolyn Hennessy, who plays Diane Miller on General Hospital. So I hope you'll come on my show too. All right, so listen, I am talking to the very funny actor, radio personality. He's been on TV, he's been in movies. Chuck Nice is with me tonight, and I'm so glad you're joining me, Chuck. You're making my day, just to let you know.
Well, that's very, very kind of you. Very kind.
But I'm just letting you know. And thank you, everyone, for watching and tuning in. Please like the show and share it. So listen, I want to get into your career because, you know, you've parlayed being funny into many facets. You know, including TV and movies and commercials and other things. And you, I want to know, you were co-host of Star Talk.
I still am.
You still are. This is this.
I was with Neil today, as a matter of fact, via Zoom.
Yeah, via Zoom.
Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson, who was an astrophysicist, Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's kind of like working with a really smart Darth Vader. Hello, my name is Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm just waiting for him to go, Chuck, I'm your father. You know, he's got a beautiful voice, but Neil is a great guy. And
you do too.
What's that?
You do too.
Oh, that's very nice. But yeah, we've been working together for about 11 years now, maybe. Yeah, about 11 years. Yeah, the show is called Star Talk.
Right.
And it is a mixture of comedy and the cosmos. And Neil is the cosmos, and I try my best to be funny. So there we go.
Wow. And all right, so let's go backwards a little bit. So what did you do at BET?
Oh, God. So I had a couple shows on BET. I had a show called The Hot 10, which was an interview show where I just spoke to R&B artists. You know,
that's cool. Nice.
Yeah, Jennifer Hudson and Common and I even did an hour with R. Kelly.
Wow.
Yeah, that was quite an experience. I didn't. Not he didn't. He didn't scream at me the way he did Gail King. He did. You know, I didn't have to sit there and go, Robert.
Right. Calm him down.
Yeah, but this was, of course, after the accusations, but before the arrest,
Yeah.
and we didn't really talk about any of the salacious stuff because it was a music show and it was really just about music.
Right.
So,
How did you go from comedy to BET? Because then you had, other jobs at True TV and VH1 and and Cozy TV, and it just kept going and going and going.
Yeah, no, I have done 52 television shows.
Yeah.
And people don't even realize it. They're like, and it's because none of them have actually worked. So, no, I'm joking. So I've been on enough TV now where people just see me and they go, I know that dude. I know him.
Right.
But they can't.
I've seen him.
I've seen him, but they can't figure out where, like, is it the Today Show or?
That I have to tell you, the Today Show I was going to get to later, but that was one of my friggin' favorite segments.
Yeah.
It was.
It
was a panel of men.
Yeah.
Right? And it was you and I think 3 or 4 other guys. I forgot.
3 guys. Yeah. It was always me and 3 other guys.
Right. And it was basically women asking you 4 gentlemen your opinions and wanting to know the male thinking process as to why you do the things you do or how we should act when we're around you. And I loved it. I thought it was hysterical. And you of course, you were very, very funny.
Yeah.
And I love that segment. I hope they bring it back, really.
It would be nice because it was a lot of fun. I don't know why they took it away. I don't ask questions. The one thing about show business that is a definite, you're fired. So that's, it's whatever you're doing will stop. It will go away. That's the one thing that's a definite. So, it's funny because I was at one point in my career a correspondent for CNN, what they call a contributing member or a contributor, and I got paid. It was like, it was a job. And one day they pulled me in the office and they were like, Chuck, we just wanted to have a conversation. Now I know I'm being fired. I've been fired enough times to know when I'm being fired, But what they don't realize is like, I'm not a news person. I'm an entertainment person.
Right.
Like getting fired is called Tuesday for me. I don't, the hell do I care? You're fired. Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? I'll go get, that's so what? You're fired. Everybody gets fired in this business.
Let's tell about it.
Right. So anyway, they went through this long thing and they were just like, so, we just feel as though where we are right now it's not synchronous. And so, yeah. And so then I just sat and I just kept looking at them like, okay.
Say those 2 words.
Yeah, I'm like, and and they wouldn't say like, you're fired.
Wow.
They just kept saying different, very euphemistic ways of saying you're no longer here. And I was just like, you guys are really bad at breaking up.
Right.
The way you're supposed to break up is just like, hey, you gave me herpes. It's over. That's a breakup. A breakup is you walk outside and all over your car is missing paint that spells out F you. That's a breakup. Okay? I was like, you guys are terrible at breaking up.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So
it's the nature of the beast, unfortunately.
That's entertainment. So I hope that the Today Show brings that back. And
I hope so, because really that was really one of my favorite. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
It was great. And then you did, you were on VH1.
Yeah, I had a long long stint with VH1. I did all their little talking head shows. And then there was a show called Best Week Ever, which everybody loved. It was one of their most popular shows. And I was a cast member from the first episode to almost the last. It was really cool. That was a great time. I enjoyed it.
You hosted Host of Home, Strange Home on HGTV.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. Oh my God. I keep this here too. Because they gave me this.
What'd they give you?
They gave me this little thing and it says Home, Strange Home.
I love it.
And it's just a little piece of wood that has me on it. But the company was AMS Pictures. That was the production company. And they're so cool. They're such a great. And so I used to have to go to Dallas because they're located in Dallas.
Right.
And so I would have to go stay in Dallas for a few weeks at a time to do all the ADR and all this other stuff for the show.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked most about the show was, going down there and just being in Dallas, which I like. It's a good town on a what do you call that? An expense account. If you got an expense account, Dallas is a good town. I wouldn't spend my own money there.
Great.
Yeah, I wouldn't spend my own money, but somebody else's money. Somebody else's money makes Dallas really fun. So yeah.
It's always more fun when it's someone else's money.
Absolutely.
So what did you do for Cozy TV? You work for Cozy TV too.
Oh God, I did several their little shows that they had about. They did a show about. I did a show. Hold on. I'm so sorry. Oh.
Okay.
I'm boring the hell out of myself. This is the longest anybody has ever talked to me about anything.
Oh no.
Nobody's ever talked to me this long about anything. Anyway, but I used to do their little shows about the shows on. So, I would do shows about Angela Lansbury.
Okay.
So crazy.
Oh my God, that's so fun.
But Cozy was fun. They're great. I mean, they're NBC. You know what I mean? That's why I work for them.
But I mean, here you're saying you did 56 different shows, right? So,
yeah.
Do you prefer doing that, or do you prefer doing stand-up?
Well, the whole time I've been doing stand-up. I've never stopped doing stand-up from the very first time I've done it.
Yeah, that I know. But which one would you prefer to do full-time?
The one that will pay me the most money.
That's the right answer.
There you go. If going out and telling jokes will pay me more than being in front of a camera, I mean, first of all, that would mean that you got a really great following. And so I mean, to me, if I could do it like Bill Maher, one of these guys, Bill Burr, these really big comedians who when they tour one night a week in a city at a theater.
Yes.
Or a Friday and Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the equivalent of, being out for 5 weeks.
Right.
That has got to be so cool. And I would like to see my career go to that place, where it's, you're selling out theaters. Nothing big. I don't need to be Aziz Ansari selling out Madison Square Garden.
Right.
I don't need that. But I wouldn't mind selling out the Beacon Theater. People coming there to see me do comedy.
Yeah.
That would be really, really cool.
Right.
And you do that same thing 26 times in 26 other cities throughout. And it's a great comedy life to do it that way.
You ever perform? I had Rhonda Handsome on a few weeks ago, and she told me that she got to perform at the Apollo.
Oh yeah, I've performed there several times.
But when she came out, she wasn't introduced as a comedian. So when she came out, everyone thought she was going to sing.
Right.
And it was really hard for her to flip the mindset. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Something like, I am not singing. She went right into her act. So how was it doing the Apollo?
I got a standing ovation when I did the Apollo.
Nice.
And I didn't sing or do comedy. I was stripping. People enjoyed it very much.
Sure they did.
Yeah, no, it was one of my first gigs in comedy. And it was a paid comedian gig. It wasn't the amateur night. It was the TV show. So I called up. Well, first of all, Lee Morgan got me into the audition.
Mm-hmm.
So Lee got me into the audition, and the two people who were booking it at the time, they liked me, but they were like, "We're not sure about you." And I was really young too. So, and they were like, "We'd like to see you again." And so I went up and I performed at Stand Up New York.
That was my first gig. My very first gig was there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they were in the audience, and I had a really, really great show. And then I lied because they were like, "Hey, we're gonna need your management's information."
And you didn't have one.
No. So I gave them my home number.
With a different name.
Yeah.
I love it. I freaking love it. Do you remember the name you gave them?
Yeah, Cy Goldberg.
Oh my God, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's great.
So when they talked to me about me being on the show, I was talking about how great I was as a comedian. You know, this kid, I kept calling myself, "This kid's great. He's going to kill it. Yeah, he's great." And they were like, "Well, who are you? How we've never heard of you."
Oh.
That's what they said on the phone.
Mm.
And I went, "You called me. I'm giving you this kid, Chuck Nice. He's wonderful. You call me, and now you're asking me questions about who I am? Do you want me? Do you want me to perform, or do you want Chuck Nice to perform? I don't know what's going on here." And I did it just like that.
Oh my
And
God,
guess
that's
what?
great.
And they went, "We're sorry, sir. We're sorry." And that was the end of it. And I got the job.
That's awesome. That is so cool.
And I'm sure they were just like, because I didn't try to sound like a Cy Goldberg. I just kind of changed my voice so that I didn't sound like me. And I'm sure after about
like Eddie Murphy in Coming Back to America, you didn't sound like a real Jewish.
Well, no, because that would have been terrible. Just like, "So anyway, this is Cy Goldberg. I just want you to know that Chuck Nice, he's such a great kid." Like they would have been like, "Who the hell is this?" Like,
Like Billy Crystal.
Right, exactly. Billy Crystal is Cy Goldberg. Right, anyway.
Funny.
So no, I just changed my voice a little bit, so it made it a little higher, and I talked like you know right. So anyway, I'm sure after talking to me for a while, they were like, "I don't know, man, this guy sounds a lot like Chuck Nice." This Cy Goldberg, he sounds every once in a while, he sounds a little bit like Chuck Nice. So anyway, but it worked, and that was my first TV gig. That was it. Showtime at the Apollo.
That's precious. Thank you for sharing that. That is
Yeah.
hysterical. So what did you do? What did you also do? Do you consider yourself a little nerdy? Like a little scientific nerdy kind of person?
No, I consider myself a lot nerdy.
Okay.
Not a little nerdy. I love science.
Yeah, you love science. I know, that's why I'm asking, because people who love science, I didn't love science as a kid, but you have to be a little nerdy to love science.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that it's one of the things that it's like real life magic science.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to know how things work, no matter what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that kind of curiosity has been kind of a hallmark in my life. And so I'm just super happy to work with Neil on Star Talk, because not only do I work with him, but I work with all these other scientists at NASA and JPL and all these different universities. And, a lot of times I read their research so that I can sound intelligent during the show. It's great.
Well, that brings me to you working for National Geographic.
Yeah. So
And you with them too, right?
Yeah, we did. So Nat Geo, they have year 1 million, I think, was the show that I did for them, and then of course Star Talk, which is the show that's Neil's show, and
Right.
I was the co-host for that show, and yeah, that was a great show, and the fact that it was the only late night science talk show in history.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's an interesting fact.
yeah, it was the only late night science talk show in the
Uh-huh.
history of television,
Right.
and
Well, because nerds like to stay up and watch something about science at night.
yeah, well, of course, it's not like they're having sex.
Right.
So
Oh my God, that's so funny. So you are doing yourself right now. You're doing something weekly. At first, I think it was called Corona
the Corona Cast.
Cast.
I still do the Corona Cast. It's just something that I like to put out. It's content about the coronavirus that I like to put out.
Chuck, I watched the Corona commercials.
Oh, Corona Mercils is hilarious.
I freaking loved it.
Yeah.
It was so good. People have to. They have to go to your page and watch them, because I think with your comedy, I think you're very, very intelligent, and I think your comedy is very, very smart. It's very smart. It's very clever.
Well,
Very
thank you.
And I love how you combine and mesh stuff together that's so relatable and funny at the same time.
Oh, that's very nice.
I appreciate that. But it was something that it takes a lot for me. As comics, we're very critical of other comics, and sometimes it's hard to get other people to make us laugh out loud.
Right.
And I watched it and I did. I just laughed out loud, and I was like, this is great. So you do these.
I do them periodically whenever I can, whenever the whim hits me.
Right. Climate clip of the week, which is also very, very interesting.
Yeah, so I do a lot of work in the climate space.
Right. And then
So
we want to tell me about the building community and the campaign that you're doing, because I think that's very important.
yeah, so we don't talk about climate crisis. It's something that we're all aware of. You hear about it on the news. You see it with your own eyes. I mean, anybody who's been alive for more than 20 years knows that something is going on with our environment. Our environment is changing. We've never seen giant hurricanes one after another. We didn't even have Category 5 hurricanes when I was a kid.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And now we have hurricanes. They're like, well, that's way beyond the Category 5, right? So we have these terrible weather events that we're all aware of, and they're happening with much greater frequency. And now, if you're a scientist, you're not allowed to say this, because science has a very stringent burden of proof for you to say one thing causes another. So causality is always a big deal to say this causes this. You need to be able to go back to some evidence, some empirical evidence that is almost tangible, and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, and then we repeated it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, and then we repeat. And so then you can say this. So you can't really do that.
Right.
But I'm not a scientist. And I do, so I say it all the time, and I have common sense. As a matter of fact, I don't call it climate change. I call it H3C, human-caused climate crisis. It's an H, human, with 3 C's afterwards, H3C, human-caused climate crisis. Because if we don't start calling it what it is, then we can't start responding to it the way we should.
Right. Well, you did see that when we were all in lockdown. I mean, you're in New York City, right?
Yeah.
And you saw when we first locked down and everybody was not going anywhere, and there were no cars on the road and nothing. They actually showed, and I think you must have seen it because you're more scientific guy than I am, but they showed from a satellite what we look like now and how much cleaner the environment got without cars on the road, and and pretty much everything coming to a halt the environment actually got a little healthier during that time period.
And it is. It certainly did. It was a great way to look at the fact of what we're contributing in terms of our carbon output.
It was a little jaw dropping for me.
Yeah. And so what has to happen is this. We have to change the way we do things. But here's the thing that people don't really recognize when it comes to climate.
Right.
One, it's not political. And that's my big message that I want people to understand.
Right.
The people who want you to think that climate change is political are people who are making money off of burning fossil fuels.
Right.
Don't fall for the okie doke. That's what my father used to say all the time. Don't fall for the okie doke. You know what I mean? You know, you're smarter than the okie doke. So the fact is that we know that when we put carbon to the atmosphere, it's causing all of this stuff.
Right.
So here's the other thing that people don't know. One, it's not political. Two, everything you do to move towards a carbon neutral economy, a carbon neutral existence, helps you. Like, you're the person who benefits.
Right.
Okay? So
That's common sense. It's common sense.
Right. So it's like, why wouldn't we all want to live in an economy and ecology where the economy interlocks with the ecology so that those two things are actually complementary instead of one destroying the other? Because clean energy, which people say, well, you can't really do it. Solar is never going to be. And I'm like, really, solar is never going to be effective. So I just say this to you. The sun is 93 million miles away.
Right.
93 million miles away.
Mm-hmm.
Far enough that if it stopped shining right now,
Mm-hmm.
it would take 8 minutes for us to know that there's no more sun, because
Wow.
it would take 8 minutes at the speed of light.
Wow.
It takes 8 minutes to get for the light to get here.
Uh-huh.
And that sun, if you go outside on a hot day and lay on the beach, you can get 3rd-degree burns
Yes.
all over your body.
Yes, you can.
So my point is, you're going to tell me that something 93 million miles away that can still burn your ass here on Earth is not powerful enough to meet our energy needs?
Yeah, really.
Come on now. Come on. Let's get real.
And what's the campaign called? Tell everyone what
So I have 2 campaigns. One is called Shh, It's Real. And if you write it out, you see what it says.
Right.
And it's basically an awareness to get people to start talking about and to start taking action on this. We all have a part to do when it comes to climate. That's what I'm trying to get people to see. We all have a part to do. Okay. And then the second one is 10,000 teachers, which comes from the tradition of each one teach one. And anybody can join 10,000 teachers.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. How can people join it and follow it and get involved?
If you really want to, you can email us at It's Real, which is SHH. So SHHH, It's Real @gmail.com. And just say, hey, send me some information. We'll send you some links and we'll let you know what we're doing. And so I started this campaign on my own. I don't have a staff. Now I have a couple people who are working with me, but I'm just trying to grow it. I'm passionate about it. I know that it's science. And I know if people really knew what was going on, if they really knew what was happening, they too would be passionate about it. When you find out and when you meet these scientists, you realize why nobody knows what's going on. Because they suck at communication.
Right.
They're the most brilliant people in the world.
Yeah.
Their research is amazing. They have these incredible findings, but they don't know how to get that message out. And I'm like, well, that's my job. Because,
Right.
I'm the person that can do that.
Well, kudos to you for doing it. I give you a lot of credit. I'd love to even get involved and learn more about it myself, because like I said, when I saw that on the news, I was really blown away. And it is you look at the world, itself and all the natural disasters that are going on now, and you're like, what you question? I question why is this happening, because again, like you as a kid, this wasn't going on.
No, it wasn't. So just this week, if you want to, and I don't want to harp, I didn't want to turn this into climate talk, but just this week, if you think about it, once again in California, we have unprecedented wildfires. That is a direct result of the season starting earlier due to the dry conditions that are also connected to the climate crisis or the warming earth. The second thing is, for the first time in recorded history that we know of, we have a precedent where a hurricane and a tropical storm that may develop into a hurricane are going to hit back to back.
Yes, and it has to happen in 15 years.
Yeah. So, right. So, I mean, it's kind of rough, but and for them to hit the same place, that we don't even know if there was a precedent for that.
Right. And I have to say, like I was saying this past weekend, how I was, my husband and I were gardening in the backyard, and I'm looking down, and I see all these leaves on the lawn, and I'm like, it's the middle of August. Why are leaves starting to fall already? Okay.
Yeah.
That I've never seen either. This is the first time I'm seeing leaves fall from my neighbor's tree in August.
Yeah. Well, that's why they call it global weirding. It's not global warming, it's global weirding. Yeah. And listen, a lot of people are still skeptical, or they say whatever. And I'm not trying to be an evangelist or change anybody, but if you do the research, you'll find out that it's for our own good. If you have children or grandchildren, why wouldn't you want?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Totally. Listen, we're going to take another quick break. Hello, my girlfriend Grace Guadati Machanga from the Boogie Down Bronx. Hello, Ginny. Again, Kristen Tinsley. Please like the show and share it. We're going to take another quick break. And when we come back with Chuck, we're going to talk about some movies he did.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Okay, we'll be right back. Don't go away.
So where do you want to go tonight?
Why don't we go to Coasters?
Oh, cool. I heard it's a great place. Let's check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Oh my God.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea Time. I'm so glad you joined me tonight. I have a wonderful fellow actor and fellow comic, and he's also a radio personality. Chuck Nice is in the house, and I just want to thank you again personally for taking the time out and joining me, because I know this is like a marathon for you, 55 minutes.
I was about to say, I got to tell you, if I knew your show was 55 minutes, I would have told you I'll be there at 8:40.
Listen, we only have 5 minutes left. You see how
okay. That went very quickly. I got to give it to you.
I told you. All right. So listen, I want to get back into your career as far as, we talked about you stand up. We talked about how many shows you've done. Again, my favorite segment on the Today Show with you guys and women asking you questions and really hearing the brutal, honest truth, which I loved. And, you did some movies. You've done commercials. You've done TV. As far as TV goes, you were in Instinct at playing Ryan, which I really liked. I really liked that show.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it only got, one season?
I think it got one season.
But I did like it. And then, so in 2015, and I have to watch this movie because from what I saw of it, I thought it was hysterical. Giorgio Bush and the Bee People.
Oh, yeah. I forgot I did that. Yeah.
Oh, my God. From what I saw, every scene I chuckled. So I definitely want to see this movie. You played Bill Frisbee?
Yeah, Bill Frisbee. He's a talk show host. He was a talk show host. Yeah.
Wow, there's a stretch.
Yeah, tell me about it, right? Yeah. I needed to really flex my acting chops. So.
But In 2018, you played the week of with Adam Sandler and Chris Rock. You played Leonard, and that was, I think that was on Netflix, right? It was Netflix.
Yeah, that was a Netflix original, and that was a great experience working with those guys. And it was so cool because I just thought I was going to be in it, and then I show up for my first day on the set, and it's Adam Sandler and Rachel Dratch. And the whole scene is just us. And I'm like, what? Okay, this is great. Because I just really thought I was going to be like, hi, like doing something like, I don't know what I was. But anyway, I didn't realize that the scene was just opposite Adam. My scenes were opposite. So all my scenes are opposite Adam or Chris or Rachel Dratch. So it was great.
How much fun and how much laughing did you do on that set?
It was a lot of fun. And Adam Sandler is just a gentleman. He's a wonderful guy. You may hear people talk about him and they have nothing but glowing things to say. And the reason is, man, he's a truly warm and giving and just genuinely a good person. And his wife as well. So, it was really cool. It was nice to be on a set where like everybody was professional, but at the same time courteous, but at the same time, they were looking out for you. It was really nice, and most sets are not like that. Most sets are cold and impersonal.
How long was the shoot for you? Was it more than a couple of days?
Yeah, it was like, I don't know, 4. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was like 4 days on set.
And did you have to audition for that part?
I did, but I didn't. Well, I don't even want to say how I think it happened, but I think Chris Rock said something to somebody. That's what I really think. Because I auditioned for this little teeny, that's why I thought I was just going to be saying hi. I had a 1-word audition. So,
what was the word? I want to know what it was.
I forget. It was like uh-huh. Or some shit like, oh, sorry, pardon. It was something like uh-huh or whatever. But anyway, they called me back.
So funny. They
called my agent and they said, is Chuck available to be on set for blah, blah, blah from this to that? And he like going to play Cousin Leonard. I was like, right on. Nice. So yeah, it was fun.
Now, and again, if I get in my fun facts wrong, please correct me. But was the last thing you did something called Katie Keene? Yeah,
that was a pilot. I haven't even seen it. I played a record executive and I don't even know. I have no idea.
What I did see of it, I liked what I saw. I liked the concept, and I thought it was good.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
I hope it gets picked up.
Well, I have to ask somebody for that footage because that should be. First of all, I got to get a reel because you're saying all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't even have a reel with all this stuff on it. It's a wonder. Let me tell you something. If you don't believe in God, you should believe in God because of me, because it's a wonder I'm working. I don't have a reel. I don't call anybody. People call me and like I don't even know how I've made it this far in this business, to be honest. I just realized I'm a disaster.
The clip that I did see is on your IMDb. So
okay.
You could actually see the clip.
Oh, right on. I'm gonna have to check it out.
And check it out. Listen, Chuck, we have 1 minute left.
Oh.
First of all, I want to thank you again for taking this 55 minutes out of your very busy day.
It's 55 minutes of my life I'll never get back, Teresa.
Spending it with me. I hope you had a fun time.
No, I had a blast.
So that's good. But I want to know, how can people follow you or watch you and know what you're doing next?
That's a good idea. That's good you say that. I have an album out right now, and it's called Uncomfortably Hot Dad. So, and I keep forgetting to promote it. I have yet to promote this album. However, from what Uncomfortably Hot Dad, and it's on 800 Pound Gorilla Records. And from what I understand, it's doing very well. And I only tweeted about it once, and then I forgot that I did the album. I'm telling you, I'm awful. I need somebody to help me because it's a wonder I'm working. But anyway, Uncomfortably Hot Dad.
Yes.
So check out the album at Chuck Nice Comic. Chuck Nice Comic everywhere. So find me on all that social media stuff. And and once I hire an assistant to do all this, you'll be hearing more and more from me.
Well, listen, Chuck, again, I want to thank you very much. Please come back anytime you want.
Well, thank
Stay
you.
in touch. Maybe one day me, you, Richie will get together in the city when this day, when things are less crazy and
Yeah. That would
love to
that
meet
would-
you in person.
that would be fun. You and Richie together, I'm not sure I could take it. That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be too much fun. I'm now we're gonna have to make that happen. I'm gonna make it happen.
All right, so listen, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Again, please like and share the show. Again, thank you, Chuck. Please stay safe, stay well. Everyone, see you next week. Ciao.